Now, anyone watching Keegan Bradley is like, oh my God, he's a nervous wreck.
Yeah.
He's won a major.
Yeah.
So what we're seeing and what's going on in here can be two different things.
I hope I can hit these clubs.
Okay.
Because they're a little different.
A little longer.
A little heavier.
Yeah.
I've been working a lot about like stress and
Okay.
inputting that on my practice.
Yeah.
And then switching the role, switching the hat to player,
Okay.
and executing that like process.
More of like practice with confidence, I guess.
It's a good one.
Instead of like be technical with it, maybe just feel more like I got this and let it happen instead of worrying about where and what
Awesome.
my
So
club has had.
get more out of the swing that you've got rather than work on changing your golf swing.
Perfecting it, yeah.
Which is, that's something I say all the time. I think the work that I want to do with players is more about getting the most out of what they've got rather than changing what they've got. And there's an element of ability to that. If we get a 4, 5, 6-year-old who's just started, we're probably going to look at changing what they've got. But you guys are already playing in college. You've already achieved a certain level. Can we get more out of it without having to change it? So what you'll see a lot in players, so if you guys as coaches start to coach the pre-shot routine, you'll see this. 150 yards, give me 8 iron. But there's been no care for the environment surrounding the shot. That's a sign that someone's really just practiced on the range and haven't been out on the golf course and learn maybe the most important thing, which is the ability to adapt to the environment, the surroundings. So a lot of players start their routine here. Professional golfers on the PGA Tour all start here, and they pay caddies, some of them millions of dollars, to help them with this bit. So when we select, what do you think we have to select? What comes into this portion of the pre-shot routine?
Picking the club or the shot shape.
Club, that's awesome. Club, shape.
Target, maybe?
Well done, yeah. So all of this is what I would call concrete data. It's facts. If we want to play our best golf, what do we have to turn this into? Is the golf swing built of facts and data? Should we be thinking and analysing?
More like a feel type thing.
Good. So you've got to turn all of this
To action.
into action. You've got to turn it into what I would call something sensory.
Okay.
How do we do that? That's the next part. Jason Day does it through this.
Closing his eyes.
Sees himself swing, sees the ball fly, see where it's going to land. Once they've turned it into something more sensory, they have to then execute the shot. What's the key when you execute? What's the goal? We talked about this at the clinic. What?
Silence the chin.
Good. So we're pretty negative as humans. If I ask you, did you drive here or did you drive?
I did.
Do you drive?
Mm-hmm.
If I say, okay, you're going to drive back, you're not going to stop at any red lights. What are you going to think?
Well, I won't get pulled over first off. But
Pulled over? What else? What's worse than getting pulled over?
Why did you do that?
I'm gonna die.
Yeah,
Probably.
car crash, yeah? You might die. You might die.
Really positive, Ayla.
So you think about that. You think about that because you've got this little chimp that's designed to tell you to avoid danger.
Mm-hmm.
And that means when you drive home, you're going to stop at red lights. It means you're going to put your seatbelt on, and it means you're going to live to 20 years old, 30 years old and beyond. If you didn't have this little chimp, we'd just jump off roofs and drive through red lights, whatever. We wouldn't survive. So that's great for life, but it screws up your golf. So the ultimate goal when we execute is quiet the chimp. This negative voice has to be silenced. There are hundreds of strategies for doing that. And this is in the psychology. I don't know if you guys have studied this. It would be attentional focus. Where do you choose to focus your attention? I have a tour player who focuses solely on grip pressure. I have a college player who sings Michael Jackson songs. I had a young girl that at a junior academy I used to work at. She used to picture her teddy bear in her mind. All effective strategies for that individual. So when you coach this, or when you want to put this into play as a player, you have to do what's right for you. So my point is, there's no right or there's no wrong. That's the thing about teaching golf. So the way that I like to teach all of this is through what I would call active discovery. You put players in games and challenges and they draw learning experiences out of it. So a bit like we did at Chuck's clinic.
Yeah.
Some of the most effective challenges are the ones that help people with tempo and tension. Ultimately, this is a framework. The first two letters are analysis. This then turns it into something more sensory. You'll silence the chimp and you'll be more free-flowing, or what the research would term as automated. And then if you can accept whatever happens, it allows that process to restart. If you can get every single one of your players engaging in this framework, they'll enjoy golf more. That's the main thing, because they're focused on, what's the key word here? They're focused on the process and not the outcome. Do you understand why that helps? Why does that help?
I guess it just gets them more thinking at their own while they're interested into it, instead of like other distractions, I guess, of what
Close.
could happen.
Yeah, very close. Ultimately, all of these things, if you pick the right things, you're in control of. If you're in control as a human being, you're going to relax. If you're relaxed, you're going to enjoy performance more. And if you enjoy performance more, guess what? We might just play better.
Yeah.
If you're focused on outcomes, they're not in our control. As human beings, when things are out of our control, we get stressed. When we get stressed, we're not really in a state to enjoy. And guess what? If we're not enjoying it, performance is going to decrease. Does it all make sense? Okay, let's hit some. Getting players to hit shots, talking their options, selection, visualization process, execution process, how they kill the chimp, and their acceptance allowed, lets you into a world that you wouldn't normally see.
First thing I would do is grab my rangefinder
So we're gonna analyze this together.
and check the yardage. I got 124 to the pin. So after I get the yardage, I'll check the wind. It's in my face a little bit. So my options are since it's downhill, wind's in my face a little bit. My 8-iron goes about between 125 and 130. So I'm comfortable with hitting my 8-iron. And the ball is sitting up pretty decently. So I come back here and pick a shot that I want to hit. I'm pretty comfortable with the draw. So I'm just gonna find a spot just a little to the left of the pin and select that, and then visualize the ball flight. Then I come in here next to the ball and feel the shot. Then I come back one more time, visualize it one more time, kind of hear the sound of the contact, set my face, look at the target, look at the line, look at the ball, little waggle, set, hit. For the acceptance process, I felt like I was comfortable over the ball, but it was a little quick in the takeaway. But that's something easy to fix.
Is the speed of the takeaway something important to you?
It's what I've been working on recently. Other than that, in hindsight, it's not that important, but I don't know, just like being able to see what happened with the shot rather than just like grabbing my bag and moving on.
Awesome. Cool.
Is
So
good.
reflection, self-reflection.
Yeah.
That's massive for learning. So many people that hit a bad shot, slam the club, walk on, they just missed an opportunity to learn. So again, as coaches, and that's definitely, especially in junior golf, that is the hardest habit to help
In
a
college
student
golf
with.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In professional
In
golf.
golf.
Yeah,
In
throughout.
golf in general.
Yeah.
Thanks, sport.
So it's not, and look, again, you guys are going to coach, so you need to know this. I'm very big on players having process goals. So I could ask you, what are your process goals for the next tournament? And you're going to say, to do my routine on every shot and accept everything. Don't listen to players that say that.
Yeah.
They're just trying to pull the wool over your eyes. What I would want, if I was coaching you, I would want specifically, okay, let's maybe have a V, an E, and an A.
Yeah.
Or if you were weak in the strategy area and it was something you were working on, let's have, how are you going to be your own best caddy?
Yeah.
Give me a goal there. How are you going to walk in between shots? Or how are you going to stay calm in between shots? What you're going to focus on when you execute. Just to say, I'm going to do my routine and accept everything, it's too superficial, it's not specific enough.
Yeah.